Here we go.
Fenton, what's up?
Hey Kev, how are you?
Good, bro. Good to see you, man. Good to
I
see you.
tact I tactically sat in front of my Dublin sign. Do you like that?
Is
My,
that right? Yeah. I just sat in front of the mirror. See my gaff.
Sorry, do we get a side view of that man bun going on there? Do you want to show everyone what's going on?
This has been going on. It's been a big talking point today on the page. To be straight
Feels
up
the
with you.
crack. It feels the crack on the WhatsApp anyway, for sure.
Is that it? Yeah. Look, it's now lockdown, man. But sure, we'll see what happens with it. What do people watch and think of the man bun? Give us a few. If you give us a thumbs up in the comments if you are up for it, and if you don't like it, actually don't say anything if you don't like it because I can't handle it.
For the championship to come. That's the big
Again?
decision. Should he hold on to it?
Yeah. Business in the front, party in the back. So that's it. How's your day going anyway, Fento?
Yeah, not too bad, Kev. Not too bad. She was pretty nervous for this now. This is my first Insta live. I was
Is that right?
I was looking maybe Paddy Andrews to get a few tips earlier on, but yeah, we're going live now, so
Yeah.
let's get on.
I did one of these a few weeks ago with my
Yeah.
brother. We played music for 2 hours, and it was a great night, great bit of crack and banter.
I was watching the kitchen donate to the cause. It was unreal.
Nice, man, nice. We raised $4,000 for a couple of charities, but anyway, how are you now, Scully? Good to see you're tuning in.
Scully has a few questions for us, I'd say.
Does he? Yeah. I have a few questions for him as well. But so like I suppose the idea of this is, look, I'm doing the takeover for today, and I was like asked who we'd have a bit of crack with and maybe interact with the people that follow us and stuff. So I got loads of kind of questions today, and I'm sure you want to ask me a few things. So we'll see how it goes, and love to get as much interaction as we can from people watching and stuff like that.
We have a song request, Kev. I think you're gonna have to get the guitar out before we finish up.
No, I'm good. As my friend Mark Swain said to me, he says, "You look like a great singer, but you don't sound." So
that's it. On my Instagram today, when I knew you were having me on, I put up obviously the video of you scoring a goal in 2011, which today I must have watched about 15 times. I'm not gonna lie, I was just rewatching it over and over, trying to pick myself out in the hill, like, do you know what I mean? And then the other
in the hill.
Oh yeah, the hill that I got a last minute ticket in 2011. I would have done my leave insert that year, so I was probably 18, 19. Yeah, I was 18. I was minor, yeah, because some of my mates were playing in the minor final before you. And I remember when you scored the goal and Clucko scored the winner, stop. But and then the second video I put up was you singing in Vicar Street this year, and I was there on the night, and I was just like,
not sure which video I prefer more.
I was just so proud looking up. I was like, these are all just jamming away, and like you and Danny obviously are so close and stuff. It's just, as I said on the Instagram, you're a man of many talents. So I'm gonna have to ask you about that later on.
Good stuff. Good stuff. How's the past couple of months been for you?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you the same thing. Obviously, we haven't really seen much of each other, have we? Yeah. It's been slow, to be honest, but I sort of enjoyed it in many ways. It's been nice to sort of press the reset button, and it'd be nice to see what other people think as well. Throw in comments about how you've been finding things, because yeah, there was a big pause on everything, wasn't there? I think from football point of view, we're so used to the routine of summer football and even a bit of football, which is obviously starting off again. But we're so used to I think the Leinster final would have been last weekend or something, if we were being that. So we've been just so used to that over the last few years, and so used to just work taking over and everything. So I think I enjoyed a bit of just rest and relaxation for a while, but mad keen now to get off again. So thankfully we'll have a few games before the winter,
Yeah, 100%, man. And you know what? The only thing I was thinking was, like, I think I had all corners of emotions. Some days where I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Some days where I was like, this is brutal. And positive and negative, the whole whack. So
I'd say everyone. I think everyone they were enjoying it, and then they were hating it, and mad to get back to work or mad to get back to school. I'm sure for many people watching in today, so I'm sure everyone had the full range of emotions.
Yeah, man, 100%, 100%. So you'll be back back with Raheny now over the next few weeks.
Back with Raheny, senior champo. Yeah, luckily you avoided us in the group, so yeah, we almost got his last year. Now you nipped in for a late goal, I think, last year in Club Champo out out in, where was it, St. Margaret's or somewhere out at the airport.
Yeah.
We a goal. It wouldn't
We
be
won
like
by 7 8 points, but
I don't know about that. You just ran away with it, but yeah. So
you
we're
got asked today if there was one player you could have that to play for Raheny from the panel. Who would it be? I thought it was a great question.
yeah, that is a good question. I'll flip it
No
on.
mates here, like not. Don't just pick your best mates. This is like who do you think would fill a gap in Raheny?
I'd have to say Clucko, wouldn't you? Like, I think
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, I don't know. Club goalies are obviously excellent now, and everyone's trying to
What about
copy.
Bazella?
Huh?
Is Bazella still there?
Yeah, Kieran Bazell. He'd be delighted now if you gave him a shout out. No, he's not with Raheny this year. He was with us last year, all right.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
had a couple of goalkeeping issues over the last few years, like last year when he handed you the ball going to score.
yeah.
But yeah, no, you have to say Clucko because like you're guaranteed. Like Clucko even plays outfield for Parnell, so you might even get him playing left half back or something. But yeah, you'd have to just base it off your kickouts and go from there. You know, who would you pick?
Yeah.
Wrong now, so it's going to be a tough one.
Say again.
I was saying Judes are a good club team, so that'd be a tough.
Yeah. Geez, I'd find it. Who would I pick? I'd probably like someone like Kieran maybe, or yeah, maybe someone like Kieran, a bit of a jack of all trades.
I was on until you said I can't pick my mates, so I had to pick.
Yeah. Or Con maybe, like Con when he's or Jack. Or geez, it's very hard now.
It is.
No criticism, but I do think the way our team is, I think Kieran would fit in well.
Yeah.
Kenny.
Yeah,
So
good for a club championship anyway.
yeah, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into it now again. Like, and I think it's a nice step one to get us back playing, and all going well, we'll be fit and healthy by September, and then back playing with Dublin. So
please God. I have to start
cool.
out 2011 because you got on the panel 2010, isn't that right?
That's right. Yeah. I was knocking on the door for a while under Pillar and Gilroy, but I was probably a bit small, and I was probably just not there yet. So when I got there, I was probably ready for road. You know, played all the league the first year under Gilroy.
Yeah. And to the capstone of 2011, like obviously your goal being a massive turning point. I was there with a bunch of my mates, as I said, on the hill. Everyone remembers it. That, it goes down as like the turning point, or of that year, maybe 2010, 2011 was a turning point for us over the last few years for Dublin GA over the last decade or so. So, what's your like biggest memory or biggest, what do you look back on as your fondest moment around those early years?
Like my debut was a big thing. I just always wanted to play one game. Like, you know what I mean? I was only looking to a thing with my dad the other day. My dad played a couple of league games in 1973 under, I don't know who the manager was, but it was the year before Kevin Heffernan became the manager. And I remember growing up thinking I'd love to play one more than my dad. And of course, my brother had played for 4 or 5 games, the championship, and I remember thinking, geez, I'd love to just get in. So I remember my debut being a big one for me. But yeah, 2011 was obviously, I'll never forget it. It was I had probably ran that race 100 times in my back garden as a kid, and I remember we were kicking balls the day before. Mossy Quinn said to me, he says, "You always lift your head when you shoot for goal. Like, would you ever? You need to keep the head down, like, or otherwise they'll be more likely to go over the bar or go wide." And genuinely, that was the only thing I was thinking when I got a chance, was like, keep the head down and try and keep it on the deck. And I never had the roar, you know.
I had a few questions in like about that, being like how you got away with so many steps, but I think it was more maybe you're up on 5 or 6, but sure, look.
No, like, sure, I've nothing to say on that, actually. I've no comment.
It was like
getting that for the rest of my life.
It was like little Merch last year. So Merch was taking little steps. Like, it doesn't really count, like,
Is that right? Yeah. So no, I'll never forget it. And
I mean,
it's probably the thing that people will associate with my career, and probably glad. And it was glad that I've gone on and stuck around, because there was a time there after it where you could have gone anyway. You could have kind of dined out on it, and probably we enjoyed ourselves a lot, and we had a bad 2012, and we probably should have. Yeah, I don't know. We probably needed 2012 to go badly to learn maybe what not to do, and look, but then I just love kept going through the gears as the decade went on, you know, and we kept getting success here and there. So it's been great.
I'd say you have a few more games in your dad now at this stage, have you?
I have them. Yeah, I have the
Dads on
yeah,
the current players and their dads. Like I know, Jesus, I was out with Dean and Barney one night there. It was actually the night 2 years ago, in 2018. The All Blacks, Ireland beat the All Blacks, and Lansdowne Road were in the Aviva, and me and Dino were at the match. We met Barney afterwards, and geez, Dino gave Barney almighty stick over, like, you know, his only, I think, only one All Ireland or something, and Dino was, you know, sort of had 4 or 5 at that stage, and you know, it's amazing to me the amount of like dads that played with Dublin, you know, just the pedigree dads that played with Dublin, like Jack, James McCarthy, Dino, like it's you know, their kids following on, and it's probably like you might talk on it, but it's I suppose just seeing your dad and like being motivated by that and just wanting to emulate him and stuff, and you know, I suppose that was your driver, maybe, was it?
Yeah, and he used to bring us out to watch Sink Street, as it was at the time, now Templo Sink Street, and yeah, I just used to love it, and he just immersed us in GA, even following the team at the 70s. We used to have all the videos growing up, and I remember seeing the likes of Anton O'Toole and Keaveney and David Hickey, who I, you know, have grown to love as a man more as well as just a footballer. But yeah, look, he always pointed us in the right direction. My dad did, and he was a very passionate football man. Knew where I needed to improve, and was pushing me all the time. So no, I am very lucky, and I think it's a nice feeling as well that you're part of a team where there is that bit of, you know, handing on the jersey and things like that, you know.
And a few of your dads played together, isn't it? I think Noel Scully's dad and your dad played together.
That's right, yeah. And for Sing Street, Collie Murphy from Jude's, who won an All Ireland in 2011, was the same, and Kieran Kilkenny's dad, as far as I know, was involved in Sing Street, and so it's a nice bit of slagging at the after match kind of banquets and stuff like that, you know.
Get together, they're almost getting the band back together, like, you know, they're uncracked.
Exactly.
I was going to ask you, actually, I'd be such a proud Raheny person, like, from the club, like, and obviously you have such passion for Jude's as well. I was like, what is it for you that the club is about, and why does it mean so much to us? Because there'll be kids watching here, they're so proud of where they come from and who they represent, and like there'll be people from other counties, you know, and we've seen over the last few weeks like clubs fundraising and everything like that. And for me, I have a bit of an answer, but like, what is it for you about the club that is so special, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, like for me, it's, I suppose, it's just the only word I can think of is like his family, like, you know, and it's always been part of me. They've always been so welcoming to me when I've been brutal when I was 9 or 10, 11 and couldn't catch the ball till, you know, obviously when I got onto the Dublin panel and stuff like that. But I think it's just the fact that they're all your mates. You've been through it all with them. You've been to the schools. You've been to the junior matches, the minor matches, and all with them. And you know, there's no better feeling than walking into the clubhouse after a big championship win and it's been replayed on the screen, or you know, there's something different about the admiration or the support you get from the people that have been there with you all the time, that I just love. And you know, if ever anything goes wrong for me, the first people that I look to is people in Jude's, and they take up every corner of my life. So it's something that I hope can, and I'm sure a time will come when I'll be able to give back to them and stuff. But yeah, no, it's such a family. And the other thing is the parts of the jigsaw piece that I've become is like, it's all about these people in Jude. Like, you know, Mr. Brenny Mr. B is a famous teacher, and Bishop Galvin, who taught me a lot, Gaelic and hurling, and Pádraig Monaghan was a manager of mine from Mayo, and you know, basically mentored me from the age of about 14 and said, give up the soccer, and I think you can make it. You know what I mean? Someone that had your back and just told me to take players on every time I got the ball, and I just loved it, you know. And these are the people that kind of, like I said, are part of who you are, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be the same.
I was fascinated about that fundraiser you did for St. Francis Hospice. It was serious.
Yeah, I think, you know, a lot of clubs have been fundraising at the time, Kev, and this is 2 or 3 weeks ago, but you know, you're obviously restricted in many ways, guidelines and stuff, where you're stuck to 2 or 3 kilometers and 5 kilometers, but What we did is we just went like Raheen and Clontarf sort of share St. Anne's Park, if you know what I mean. So
Mm.
we go against them to see whose members can go the furthest, and it caught the imagination. I think at that stage we were so many weeks without football, we were so many weeks without competition and sport and seeing each other. So on the day it was like Clontarf members and Raheny members all walking or cycling and logging their distances and stuff, and we ended up raising over €100,000 for St. Francis Hospice. You know, it just took off. You know, a lot of clubs were in Dublin. I think Ballantyre raised something like 50 grand. Crokes did something similar, raised 40 grand. Like, you know, Nafina had a massive fundraiser. So I think for us, like, the hospice is in the heart of Raheny, and it's always so close. And the hospice across Dublin, like, you have the hospice there at Harold's Cross out your direction, and I know there's St. Francis Hospice in Blanche, and obviously there's Laura Lynn for the children. And I think the hospice just catches the heartstrings of everyone. You know, everyone can say they know someone who has been influenced by the hospice and the work that they do. So for
Yeah,
us,
yeah,
yeah, unbelievable. It just took off, and there was a competitive edge to it as well. Like, you know, Raheny and Clontarf, we've been sort of flirting up and down with Division 1, Division 2 between ourselves,
mm.
and we've managed to avoid each other in championship. But there's always been that nice rivalry, and I think it just took off. It was great scenes. There was jerseys all around St. Anne's Park in the coast, and it was just a fantastic day. So thank
Yeah,
you
yeah,
for watching tonight that may have donated, because literally we were getting donations of massive money, but we were getting donations of people's pocket money and everything. So every little literally helped. So we were so
yeah.
thankful. Yeah, it was.
Seen a few people commenting here. Nisha OH, 28K herself, I think.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, fair play, Nisha.
so respect and like appreciate. Yeah, man, it was just cool. I think it's a nice time that we, you know, when there is so much going on outside our circle, that we look
Yeah.
after those. I think it's nice, good to hear chatting about.
Talk to us about your one, just in case anyone missed it. Yours was a bit different, all right, non-sport related.
My fundraiser.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, basically, me and my bro were missing our Sunday gig. We used to do a gig in Devitt's, me and my brother, and we just said we'd do it. It was my brother's birthday, so we had a bit of the family over, and we had yeah, a few tunes. We were kind of missing the tunes. It's one thing that I've missed a lot, actually, missing the football, missing a lot of my work, but the music is a big thing. It's like, for me, it's a big escape from football. You know, I love football, but I just love the idea of, yeah, music lights up something in me, down, whether it's listening to someone or playing away. And my brother does it full time, so nice to get in there with him and stuff, and
You're
raise a
all,
few quid at the time. You know, we raised money for the Kevin Bell Trust and Bernardo's. I saw Paul O'Connell on the Late, and he just spoke about Bernardo's. Like, I was gonna, like, I work at two charities, and I kind of didn't really want to be donating to them. I work with SOAR and Aware, but yeah, the way he spoke about Bernardo's and the support they give young people, particularly you know, in inner city Dublin, I just thought this is where it has to go. You know, so anyway,
I was
I
only. I was seriously impressed with your brother Bren for learning the banjo for the one night only, wasn't it?
yeah.
What?
Comments about Brent today, talking about, he has this thing called Keep the Change, where if you check out his Instagram, he'll be talking about it. Come here, I have a question,
Telepathic.
and I'm gonna answer my one first, because I feel like I know who the first player is. But if you had a five-a-side GA team and they're made up of Dublin players only, who would the five players be, and like what would your kind of formation be? And you know what? I was thinking this today, and I was like, because isn't there like one of the radio stations were doing like the Mount Rushmore of different counties and Mayo and Waterford and Kerry and all, but I couldn't pick four. But I think like if five, like GA Astro Park in the history of Dublin football, I was trying to think who I'd have in. And
All right, you
I
go
tell you
first.
what, give us two to start, and then I'll give you my two, and we'll see. We'll come up with a five each.
Okay, so I definitely have Clucko, to go back to Clucko. I definitely have him, because he's like, when he was coming back from his shoulder injury there a few weeks ago, he was playing, like, not to put it out there, but he was playing over 35 soccer with Elmount, or one of those local teams in Beaumont here. So an unbelievable left peg, can kick corners, can kick free kicks. So I'd have him in, like, last man back sort of job, like obviously a goalkeeper.
Okay.
coming up the pitch, pressing, spraying ball around. Because even before GAA training, you'll see it, but to let everyone know that Clucko is the man now playing football tennis, and he thinks he's the king of football tennis. So I definitely have to right, no, first and foremost.
So, do you know what? And before you go on, Barry Riley is leading the way. If anyone wants to throw in their 5 of the history of Dublin, he has gone Mannion, Clucko, Fento, and McCaffrey. Fento's in it. So you can do current or you can do all time as well. Okay. So and this is Gaelic as well, not soccer. So who else would be a shoe in?
Oh, is this? Sorry, we're playing Gaelic.
We're playing Gaelic. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, we're playing Gaelic.
Okay, sorry. Okay, shoe in. For me, I think as a defender, I think Cian O'Sullivan. I think like in 2011 he was like cornerback, close man marker. Then as the years went on, he came out and played a little bit. So I think Cian will be in there for me, a bit left field now. Maybe others might go with Jack for a bit of pace or whatever. But I think serious threat there in that team.
Yeah. So I think we can both. We're like Joxer goes to Stuttgart. We can both agree on Clucko, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Who's on?
Yeah, I love Keno. Keno's a great man. I think I'd be leaning for me rock at the back. It'd have to be Macker.
Ah, yeah. Sorry, of course.
I think
Macker had over in
England.
In soccer. Sorry, I keep going back. Yeah. I think he went over to Aston Villa or something for a trial in soccer back in the day.
James McCarthy has got to be the least stylish or attractive soccer player I've ever seen. I'm thinking of Macker. And if I go on to me first forward, I keep breaking up. I would have to pick Alan Brogan would be me number 1 up front. I think Alan was probably always the one that I was looking up to growing up, and the fella that I was kind of like, he's the guy I always wanted to be like, or get credit from, or get an arm around the shoulder. I just always wanted to have. I don't know why. I used to get tickets in the canal end, just so I could watch his movement behind the goal. And it was only his last year. I remember saying this to him one day. I finally got my game ahead of him I think it was the All Ireland final in 2015. I came on ahead of him, and I was so proud. It only took me 5 years.
I was so proud to be subbed off for him in that game.
That was probably one of the best things you did that day, was it?
It probably was.
Are you one man the match that day, did you?
Yeah, well, I don't like to talk about it, but I hurt the shoulder in the last few minutes, and Alan obviously was flying. He came back. He missed the league, I think, in 2015, and he came back just he was training hard for the championship. And I was subbed off, and he came on and then kicked that second unbelievable score into the hill in the lashing rain. Like, I think you see Mick Fitzsimons cutting up the wing. You have Dermo running ahead of him, and Alan's just like, right, as a look.
They got in his way.
Huh?
I got in his way that time. I remember we watched the video back, and he was like, "What were you doing?" I ran looking for a little short pass from him, but anyway, he did the right thing.
It was amazing for him. Him and Burno linked up, so it was a bit something.
Nice, man. I've got Clucko, Macker, and Alan. I was trying to think of people in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
And I had you on my list, and it was either you or Wheelo or Mick McCauley. And just because you agreed to do this, I think I'm going to give you the edge.
Yeah. Good choice. I think I'd have to go.
Go on. The line is a bit dodgy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's mine or yours, but we'll keep going anyway. I have you now again. Mount Rushmore, Dublin, Wheelo has to be in there. I think, you used to get tickets to watch Alan Brogan. I used to get tickets to watch Wheelo, and I was so lucky. He was a Raheny man as well, but always my inspiration. And I always wanted it to be like him, exactly. So I'd have him ahead of me any day of the week. Absolutely.
Looking at a few of these coming in, some fella looking for Ev coming for it. Love that. Johnny Cooper, Philly, Fento, and Kev Mack. Appreciate that. Gally. No lads from the 90s or the 70s. Like, do you know what? And like, I always thought Keaveney would be in with the show. He was always a fellow I loved. No one could score like him. Thanks, Brian Clare, for giving me a shout out on me Gruick. Appreciate that. So I've got one space left, and who have you got? You've got Wheelo, Keane, and Clucko. So you've 2 left.
2, yeah. Phew. I think starting the forwards, then I'm gonna go with Dermo. I think Dermo on his day is just a bit of magic, you know.
Is that
Yeah. Dermo on his day, I just something about Dermo when he's in full flight that you'd have him in the team any day, and I'm sure many people agree with me. But yeah, Dermo then starting as a forward, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay. So do you know what? He was on my list, and then like there was a toss up. Someone looking for Tommy Drum here to be
Look,
thrown in from.
John Small for a
Yeah,
bit of that's important as well. John Small will be proud of that one.
is that right? Yeah. Like the likes of Tommy Drum are like someone like Paul Curran or
Niles
from
Scully
the
out there, Kev, as well. Scully, we're thinking he'll be the first sub on Scully.
yeah, good man. Because like it was the likes of and someone looking for Charlie Redden or Vinnie Murphy.
Yeah, some
I'm
late.
gonna I'm gonna go with Con for my last one.
Big call.
Big call, and it was either him or Dermo or Berno. But actually, do you know what? I couldn't put two Brogans on it, but I love Berno's my man and Flinner. But
Bro,
no, I think Con has it all. But anyway, finish it off there quick, and we'll motor on. I feel like we're just giving our teammates the most love ever.
we did well. I'll go with Con to finish as well. Dermo and Con up top for me.
Okay, nice. So not a bad team.
No.
Lovely. Can I go on to a couple of these questions that we had in off the
Yeah,
Instagram for today?
I'll do the same on my end as well, Kev, yeah.
Yeah, your Jordan Haverty. What was your favourite memories in a Dublin jersey? What would it be for you? But
Yeah, I'd say like I'd be similar to yourself, Kev. I think making my debut, I made my full league debut up in Clonus, and I always look back and think I was just an absolute fraudster at the time. Like I scored a goal. I think you were at the back post actually. I think that day up in Clonus in the league. So Dino fed me a ball, and Dino gave me a look to say like, "Who's this new fella? Like, who's this new? I'm gonna pass him the ball because he was probably in on goal as well." So he gave it to me and closed the eyes and blasted and hope for the best. And you
yeah,
were I was probably on as well. But I think my debut was always a lovely memory for me. But then obviously I think the first All Ireland and the subsequent years have been amazing, obviously. But winning my first All Ireland is just such an emotional moment, and to share that with my family and my club in Raheny. I think Kieran Whelan had missed out on a lot of All Ireland, so Raheny probably were never represented. And David Henry got one in 2011 as part of the panel. But I think to win on behalf of my club and everything, I think that was really special for me. What about you?
Do you know whenever I think of the memory, the strongest memory I have was we played Mayo in a semi-final that year in 2015, and I remember we pulled away in the last 5 minutes. I'll never forget the feeling in the dressing room after the match. It was just electric, and obviously I'll say 2011, but some of those moments just I felt like they were probably the years when I was at my peak physically, and 15, 16, where I was it felt like you could really control games and stuff like that. And
If I remember correctly, you scored a goal in the drawn game. You just sort of poked it in. I was trying to flick it out of like a ruck, and you poked it into the hill. That was in the drawn game. And then they did well. We were like 2 or 3 up. We sort of dragged in Keith Higgins, plays over the top, and you sort of sliced it off the left. I remember that so well as well. I have a terrible memory, but I remember that game so fondly as well.
Yeah. I think I come on for 10 minutes and I was absolutely shattered after it. So I can only imagine what you were like. I remember it.
Did you give it a big roar as well that day? Did you celebrate like mad, or was that another year?
I went full whack at it. Yeah. I tend not to, I tend to wait till the end.
Yeah.
But,
no, I remember I was the same. Sure, Jesus. Yeah. I think it was 15 or 16. I had a shot. 15 is probably that game as well. I'm not sure, but I had a shot and it completely scuffed it, and I was going across the goal, and Berno poked it in, and I was running away like a lunatic. You know the way when you score big goals and you just lose the run of yourself completely, like.
Yeah. Fair. Johnny Long out now.
On goal. By the way, a lot of questions came in to me for, did you mean the 2013 goal? Were you going for a point, or did you mean to chip the keeper in 2013?
Yeah, I've been asked that before, would you believe, actually.
But, half my questions today.
Yeah, yeah. I know, 100%. Look, it wasn't something that you think of in the moment. Am I going to try and scoop this over the keeper? But to be honest with you, I remember that when I was trying to pass it off because I felt there was people in a better position than me for a point, and then the lads left me at it. So I ended up, I kind of went for it. Just said put it up there and aim for the crossbar type thing and see what happened. Because so it was hard to know. Like, you know what I mean? You don't fully you don't think these through. You don't say I'd love to put it in that section of the goal. You kind of just go for it. It happened so quick, but I did aim that area and try and keep it up there and aim for the crossbar.
So you say anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. Keep them questions coming in as well. We are seeing them coming in. I just saw Johnny Long Hall there from New York giving us a shout out.
Good gent.
Yeah. And we'll keep it going for a while. I'm enjoying this.
You were asking about other teammates and who you'd have in your club. I had a really interesting one today. What attribute from a player in the Dublin team would you take into your game? So what player would it be and what attribute would it be into your game?
It'd probably be something around pace, maybe. So looking at Jack for me pace, or looking at
My answer here.
Maybe someone like Dean for his accuracy. No, I think it'd be Jack for his pace. I'm happy enough with my own like changing direction, but once Jack gets going, I don't think there's anyone. So
I only came across his goal in last year's final again in the drawn game, where the one where Clucko kicks it out and how he catches it, and Jack just takes off. And I'd be interested if other people remember this, but like Jack just like a 100-meter sprinter just heads for goal, and whatever way it worked out, Scully played a nice ball over the top for him, and it was just his run was just incredible, and his pace was just could stay with him,
Yeah, no, that'd be me. That'd be who I'm looking at. Sorry, checking the time. So, you know what? While we're here, Fento, throw in the comments. How's this going, actually? Because it just feels like a couple of owl lads talking about their career. So give us a few thumbs up if this is going well, or a few questions. Who's faster, Jack or Murch?
They both say themselves, I say, but Jack definitely, I'd say.
Yeah, fair. What about Howie's tash?
Someone asked about Howie's tash there. Don't worry, we're all trying to get him to get rid of it, but if Keane O'Sullivan has one, then Howie's going to have one. So
Howie's copying Keane.
Yeah, I think so. So don't worry, we're all trying to get Howie to get rid of it, but he's sticking with his guns now, to be fair, and he's had it for the whole lockdown period. So I'm not sure what I make of it, to be honest. What do we all think of Brian Howard's mustache? Thumbs up.
There's a few thumbs up coming in to say that it's going well. So it's nice to hear that. There was a question, and I'm sure this is a big one for a lot of people around, but Ashley Williams was on to me. How has it been away from teammates for so long? How have you found that?
Yeah, that was I think the toughest part. When I started thinking about the time off, as I was saying at the start, I was happy enough to just have a rest, but you actually just miss your teammates. You miss the crack. Like you lads become my best and closest friends. And when you have that taken away from you, in many ways we've taken it for granted as well. But when you have that taken away from you, it's a big challenge. I think even. We were having maybe Zoom calls like everyone else, but it just wasn't the same as the interaction and the crack and just the atmosphere in the rooms and before training and after training. So it was difficult for me, and it's something that I can't wait to get back to. You have it a bit with your club lads as well, but I just can't wait to get back into that Dublin dressing room just to bond with you, and I'm sure you're the same.
Do you think it'll be something you'll carry with you going forward? Do you think you'd be a bit more appreciative of it when you're back, or will we just forget about it again?
Yeah, I'm not sure. You'd love to hold on to it forever, wouldn't you? But as you say, time moves on, and you'd love to just have that crack and have those moments for the rest of your life, but ultimately we won't. And I think for me, it's just the appreciation of those moments. Training can be a slog and training can be tough. And I have a question for you about motivation, but I think when I look back on all the years that I've been in, like, yes, it's been incredible, but the memories and the crack that we've had in the dressing room and on buses and doing the skits and like stuff, that's really what stands out for me. And it's what keeps me going. You know, sharing a video of you on the stage just before Christmas, that motivates me to get back training with you. You know what I mean? So that's really
Yeah.
a big driver for me.
And I think motivation changes over the whole career. Like, you know, when there's a lot of ego in there earlier on, you want to prove something. I was talking about trying to prove something to my family, like, and that goes. And then you're trying to prove something maybe to a manager, or prove you still got it, prove you're still good enough. And I think that's one of the things that they're always trying to do is how can I find something else here as my career goes on. And like, you know what, now I'm 33 and it's like to prove that I still can do it, you know what I mean? So I think motivation changes over time. But when I come back to why, it's the love of competing, you know, and just that feeling. And I always think about you know, the dressing room after like a slog of a game, that feeling you get, and that's what makes it worth it for me, you know.
A couple of questions came in today actually to ask you about any setbacks or any adversity and any advice you'd have for dealing with setbacks. You know, I'm not sure if you've had too many, but you know, if you had a bit of adversity along the way and how you dealt with it maybe and how you got through it, any advice you'd have?
Yeah, like, you know what, I probably would say any adversity from my football career has been minuscule compared to what, you know, some of the people and even I meet through life and through work like that they through. But like my learning for dealing with maybe injuries or dealing with getting dropped is you know, figuring out where or is there growth in the situation, like where's the growth or what is something I can learn, and maybe how can I use it for myself and how can I use it for others. It's always something that I do come back to when maybe I've gotten an injury. So how can, if I pull my hamstring, how can I get stronger? How can I get better tactically or mentally during this month off or out of matches? Like my worst year for injuries, I did 4 hamstrings in 2013. I did one in nearly every game. And didn't really train all summer. I was happy to, like, was delighted to get a few games in, but it was always trying to get better at something else, get better at something tactically, or get better at something maybe physically, even though I couldn't run or couldn't kick balls or whatever. So, and that's how I always look at setbacks. Where's the edge? Where's the perspective? Who are the people that can back me in this period of my life? You know, who are the support network for me? You know.
Yeah, that's deadly. That's deadly. Any more questions?
Keep them coming in. I was do you know what, actually, before we go on, thanks to, like, this has been put on by Mitsubishi as well, and Nary's out in Lusk is the garage that we've been with for you. So I meant to shout them out at the start because we do appreciate them. What about, a few people asked about the mighty St. Fenton's, which was your school. What was who was your favourite teacher in there? Charlie Moore was asking.
Was he? Jeez, the Fenton's Brigade coming out strong. Yeah, Fenton's out there in Sutton. I would have went there obviously after 6th class in Raheny, and Fenton's great school. Like, it's a sports mad school. Only last year they were getting into rugby and senior cup, but it's just hurling and football, anything, badminton. There's such a huge variety of sports out there. The teachers were amazing too. If I had to pick a favourite teacher, there was a teacher years ago called Mr. McQuillan. He was a good Monaghan man, and he took the under-14 football team. And I remember we used the St. Vincent's branded bus, like just a regular bus that they'd have at the school to match it. And we were going out North County Dublin, sort of Donabate direction, and we pulled up beside one of these boosted up cars, like, you know, it had their engine and the rims, and I wouldn't be massively into cars now, but it was one of these boy racers, as you'd call them. And Mr. McQuillan started revving the engine of the bus, and we're all in the back 13, 14 years of age, like, you know, up at the lights as if there's going to be a street race here, like, you know, and just things like that I remember so fun. You couldn't tell you about the match if we won or lost, but it's just that you remember, and it's like, Jesus, that teacher was a legend. And I think I actually met him on a pitch once up in Clonus or maybe in Breffni Park. He came on, he said hello to me, and that's just so lovely to see us, you know, to connect again. I think he left Fenton's then a few years after that, so Mr. McQuillan, I think, for me, would have been my favourite.
Yeah. Anyway, so the St. Fenton's massive are in tonight.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. Shout out to the
Yeah.
Fenton.
Um,
Well, I was going to ask you, Kev, what other sports and like teams, like say teams in particular, and then other sports would you watch or admire? Obviously, Liverpool won the Premier League last night, and you know celebrations were unreal, and it gives you a taste for the celebrations again, doesn't it? But what other sports and sports teams in other walks of life would you sort of study, maybe admire, track, follow their progress, that sort of thing?
yeah, like look, I'm obsessed with sport. I'm big into and someone asking about like management and stuff, and like I'm really interested in coaching and leadership of teams and stuff. Like big into boxing. Like just I started working with the Olympic team 4 years ago, and I've just loved it. Love working with those athletes. Learned so much from them. Probably the most resilient bunch of people I've met. You know, just such a grueling sport, an individual sport. So love learning boxing, learn from the Aussie rules. Like I follow and stay in touch with a few people over in Australia, maybe of how they approach their sport and approach, you know, things like getting better and stuff like that. And they'd be the two that I find the most interesting. I don't watch a lot of soccer actually. I did admire Liverpool, all right, but I've been reading a few books on like tactics and soccer over the lockdown. So really interested to get back watching games, like, you know, different kind of approaches and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
you're involved with Temple Oak basketball. I was there for a while, were you?
I
Helping them.
was. I love that. And that was, do you know what? They were the first team I ever did any sports psychology work with. And I have a big love for them. And, you know, a lot of them are on playing for the Irish national team. The coach is the national coach now, Mark Keenan. And it was a kind of a learning ground for me to work with them. And yeah, like we've Jason Colleen, who played all over the world. Lorcan Murphy there is playing Irish. He's an Irish international, one of the most exciting players in the country, and he just working on the kind of mindset side of sport and work like we had some absolutely phenomenal players, and I've been proud to say I've been involved with them since in all their success. They've won a couple of cups and champions trophies and leagues and stuff, and I love the fact that I've been able to stay involved with them. You know, I played with Temple Oak basketball when I was a kid. And it was one of the sports I loved. With my friend Rowan and McLaughlin, my next door neighbour, was a big Temple Oak man. So, yeah. So I've probably worked in probably 7 or 8 sports other than GAA. You know.
And other than sports, like obviously we've been to many a gig together, and like people see us singing on the stage after, you know, if we're bringing at homecomings. How I'd like to know what's the sort of best gig or best, like, most famous person or person you were like, Jesus, what, how am I meeting this person? So the most sort of in awe of someone you met, and then you're just your world of music. Like I know we touched on it in the past, but I know you're very close to Riley, obviously from the Coronas, and just how that is your, you know, your other interest and your other passion, like I think in life, you know.
Yeah. One night about like 7 or 8 years ago, and I've never really been that starstruck because like you get to meet like cool people, a lot of Dublin fans and stuff like. But like I met Mel C from the Spice Girls one day, and like
Expecting you to say Mel C, like.
yeah, I met Mel C one night at like this party. She had just done a play in I think it was in the Tree Arena or something. She did like Jesus Christ Superstar, and Mel C was in like an after party in Lily's, and a friend of mine brought me in. I was like, come on in. I was like, I don't want to go to this. And he was like, it'd be a bit of crack. And I went in, met Mel C, and like, I panicked. I didn't know what to say. I was like, hell yeah, Mel, like, what?
I was a Spice Girls fan back in the day, like.
100%, like, you know what I mean? It's very hard not to. So that was the only time that I've ever been like she was like proper famous, like, you know.
Yeah.
So she was no Danny O'Reilly now, I have to say. She was a few levels up.
Oh yeah, I remember like last year, one of my most incredible nights was we were at that gig that I had you plugged you in today. You were on the stage with Danny and the Coronas in Vicar Street, and then I knew a link between a friend of mine and Dermot Kennedy, and Dermot Kennedy had been playing the same night as the Coronas gig in the Tree Arena. So I was like hanging out with you and Danny at one stage, and then that sort of died down. I left and I went up the road and met Dermot Kennedy. I was having drinks with Dermot Kennedy. It was just one of those moments, one of those nights where it was just like you'd actually pinch yourself, like, you know, because I'd been to his concert the night before, and obviously he's taken off in Ireland and across the world so much, and I'm sure lots of people watching here now are huge fans of his. But like, just to meet, you know, hanging out with Danny and hanging out with you and hanging out just up the road, then hanging out with Dermot Kennedy, was just surreal. Like, it was incredible.
Man, yeah. My brother and friend, man, that being a version of two become one.
Yeah, give us a few bars there, Kev.
I'd love to, but I don't know if we have enough time, or I don't know if people's ears can take a full L song. But anyway, I'd love to ask: is there one fella other than Kieran Whelan? And we're probably about to wrap up here. So thanks for like getting in touch, and wait, it's been a bit of crack, and hopefully we'll all get to back out supporting each other in the next while.
The questions have been amazing. You know, it's unfortunate we can't answer them all, but like some of the questions have been brilliant. Like things like talking about the importance of mental health and playing sport and stuff. So fair play to everyone who's asking questions. It really means a lot. So thanks a million.
And I could go all day as well. Like, geez, even the because someone asking about gym here. Got a bit of people asking about gym and Desi and how that's changed. So it was massive. Gym obviously was a big, such a big influence, such an impact and control over our team. Like, you know, so it was difficult to see last year, and I did it for the right reasons. But no, it's been exciting. You've worked with Desi over the years, and I suppose in the last 6 months, I've grown to really enjoy him. Really have so much time for him already. So looking forward to seeing how we get on this summer. But what's your take on Desi? Have you worked with him years, or?
Yeah, so I would have first met Desi when he was manager of those underage development squads. Desi was like Dublin West manager, and we were like Dublin North. So always a bit of an enemy at that stage. But then like he was the minor manager, and I was flirting around the minor panels at the time. And then he was the 21s manager. So I've more or less, we've gone the same sort of journey. Now, I haven't had as much exposure with Desi as, say, the likes of Kieran Kilkenny or John Small or Jack McCaffrey have had with him. But
yeah,
just like if you were to sum up like Dublin GA and the passion of Dublin GA in one person, Desi has all of that. He's such a passionate Dublin man. Really incredible human being. Like, I think his whole philosophy and goal in life is genuinely to bring people together and get the most out of people and stuff. So I can't wait to play for him. You know, he's the type of character people compare, say, Jurgen Klopp in Liverpool now, and how the players say they play for him and do anything for him. And I think that'll be the same with us coming into the championship now. Is you do it for a lot of reasons, but Desi will be similar to Jim. You'll do it for the management team and the passion that they give. You just want to pay that back to them, you know. So I'm really excited. You know, I know a couple of questions came in for me earlier about the championship rolling into Christmas now, but I just can't wait. I can't wait to be back playing games and, you know, to get that buzz again, playing straight knockout championship. Like, it's gonna be a serious competition on the run into Christmas, hopefully.
Yeah, it'd be great. Forward to go for again.
Yeah.
So look here, we'll start. Will you do a quick fire round of 5 questions, quick fire, before we finish?
I was going to prep a quick fire round for you, and I was like, no, you won't do that. I'll just stick with the questions. But yeah, go on, go.
Okay. 5 questions. The last one is advice. So, just first thing that comes to your head: tea or coffee?
Coffee.
2015, 2019.
19.
Okay. Play Gaelic with your head. Play Gaelic with your heart.
Head. Johnson plays with his heart, but I play with my head.
Conor McGregor or Katie Taylor?
Katie Taylor.
Dublin Championship with Raheny or Dublin 2020?
Oh, that's so tough. That's so unfair. That's how I can't answer that.
No.
Be the 5th.
Both. Okay. Last question, and this came up. I don't know if this happened to you during the lockdown, but one day I got like 10 messages of like both of our names were on a team, and it was just random players from loads of different counties, like John McDermott from Meath and Bernard Brogan and McManus, and the one thing that we had was none of us had played minor. I don't know if you saw that at all. Yeah.
Time briefly, yeah.
So, and I want to leave you with this because how did you approach that? Because obviously that was a big challenge for you. Because I was the same. I got told I wasn't big enough, which wasn't the easiest thing to hear from our coaches, and baby probably wasn't good enough. But yeah, what was it like for you?
It was tough. It was brutal, Kevin. Like, if anyone was to ask me for the adversity that I've been through in sport, it's that, like, because I think so many kids aspire to play with Dublin, and then when you're so close and you're told like that you're not good enough or you're dropped from the panel, it can be very, very tough. But I think very similar to what you were talking about earlier is where's the growth, where's the opportunity, and I think it was a big reality check for me. I probably thought I was better than I was. Do you know what I mean? Playing minor football, and I knew then it was a reality check to say, right, I really need to go away and work hard and improve my game, because I'd been luckily very talented underage and just probably took it for granted then around minor. So for me, looking back on that, it was a huge stepping stone in terms of improving my game. You know, what am I weak at? How can I improve it? And luckily it stood to me since, you know. So what about you?
Like for me, it was fine. I remember hearing that the panel came out and I was so confused. I just thought it was flying, but look, I probably had a lot to learn. And look, I spent probably the first 3 years of my adult career playing junior and intermediate in Jude's. You know, it took me a while. I think it was 2021 before I played in a championship match. So I had a bit of growing up to do. I was a bit of a glorier, to be honest with you. I used to think my job was, when I got the ball, that I had to score, and that alone,
It is, Kev, it still is.
Passing was a luxury. You know, I used to call passing like offloading responsibility.
Yeah, and it's a tough, like, because we're always asked for advice, aren't we? Like, what advice would you give? And I find that question quite hard, because, you know, it's easy to say, oh, go work on your weak side, or go work on your, you know, try and improve something. But I always find the best advice is, like, just to back yourself, like, believe in yourself. And I know that sounds probably very cliche, but, like, I always had that sort of voice in my head. I was like, right, it's not happening for now, it's going to happen for me. You know, it's going to happen for me. Keep improving, keep driving on, keep driving on. So that ability to just back yourself, and there's a lot of people watching you, just never let anyone tell you you're not good enough. Just back yourself all the way. Like, because who else is going to believe in you other than that? Like, you know, so just, that's always my advice. Just back yourself rather than something trivial, you know?
Yeah. You hear you. I think of the, like the root of the tree that made the Brian Fenton tree. You know what I mean? It's that self-belief, you know?
Yeah.
I love to hear. But come here, I'll wrap up. Listen, Fenton, thanks for coming in. It's been a good crack today now on the Instagram machine. So thanks for joining us, and I'll see you soon back at training, right?
Those influencers and bloggers all day, Kev. So I'm sure all the fans got a lot out of it. So fair play to you.
It doesn't suit me, right? I'll do it, and I'll hang on for another 30 seconds in case a few of these comments are coming in. But listen, thanks, bud.
Thanks, everyone. See you.